Okay, so in our new sketchbook we've done our double page spread in black and we've done some flicks on there. That's being left over to dry. And you've now got an A4 piece of paper. I'm going to ask you to divide up into 4 and cut it out. And the best and quickest way of doing that is to get your ruler and position it just roughly halfway. It doesn't have to be exact. Hold your ruler down and then you're going to pick up your paper and it just tears it for you. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing here. You can fold it in half so you know where half is if you want to, and that might help with your measuring. And then we'll do the same thing there, and then this one in half like that, and then we're going to do the same thing there. And then I'd like them all just slightly smaller so that we get to see our background when we stick them on, and it also gives us a little bit of space to annotate. So I'm just going to take those back just a little bit. I might keep those bits of paper. On that note, any bits of paper like this, or any different coloured paper, or any paper you find lying around that you think looks nice, any leaflets that might have some patterns on, start collecting those and start putting those in a folder. You never know when you might need them in your art lesson. I have got a little pack in the office of all different types of paper that I just like to collect, so it's quite a nice habit to get into. I'm just going to trim these down so they're a bit smaller, and we're going to use these to draw our portraits on. Now the first one you're going to do just from memory. It's a bit of a trick, the first one. The first one, I'm not going to give you any help. I'm not going to give you a picture. I'm going to ask you to draw from memory, and hopefully we're going to learn quite a lot from doing that one. So we've done our first one from memory, and we are going to put that to one side. Okay, so this portrait we are going to be doing now is a bit of a strange one. This is called continuous lines. So this is where we don't take our pencil off of the paper. So I've got a mirror in front of me that I am working from, and I'm not taking my pencil off of the paper. And what I'm having to do is I'm having to keep looking up and observing where things are in my mirror. I can't make anything up because my pencil doesn't know where to go. So I'm having to direct it, obviously, but none of that is from memory. I'm having to plot that in by looking. So it's a really good observational task, and hopefully from doing this you will pick things up and you'll learn that actually, yes, the mouth is much closer to the nose than I put it on my original one. And okay, my neck's actually quite thin. It comes in a bit more than that. And you will notice certain things that you didn't see before. So this is called continuous line. I'm not taking my pen off the page. And if you remember from year 7 about using different variations of line and changing that pressure as you're working. This is a good one as well for remembering that just because we put a line in place, it doesn't mean it's our final line. That's not necessarily the one that we're going to stick with, and that we can move things around. So I noticed here I put my eyes too far apart, so I can just move those in. Okay, and that's it for continuous line. The next one we're going to do is we're going to use the sheet now to help guide us, and you will have that in front of you. So I will draw that with you now. So the first thing I'm going to do is, with our one from memory, what you might have done is you might have pushed quite hard with your pencil. We might have a circle for a head. If you've done this before, you might be experienced and know that heads are more oval shape. We need some space up the top for our brains. And from year 7, you'll remember that we've done a bit of practice with using line, and we need that really light, sketchy line. It might even be a little bit furry, where we've got several possibilities for where the edge of the face is going to be. With your first one, you might have done the neck coming straight down from the middle of the face. It might be quite thin, the neck. You might have done it coming down from the side of the face, which would be great. Well done. You know that your neck needs to support your head, and your head is quite heavy. The other thing you might have done is you might not have drawn your shoulders, or you might have drawn them going straight across. We need to remember to get those shoulders in. Whenever you do a portrait, it's always really important to draw the neck and the shoulders. The other thing you might have done is you might have done the eyes quite high up on your memory portrait, the one you've done from memory, and not given yourself enough space for your brain. Now your eyes are halfway down your head, so you just want to draw yourself a little guide there, and you want to draw a middle line going down as well. So we've got our brain up the top here, and then along our middle line we have got our eyes. Now on your sheet there you'll see that it says that we've got one eye here, one eye there, one in the middle, one there and one either side. So there's actually 5 eyes width going across, and that determines the size of our eyes. You might also, on your original portrait, you might have done your eyes too big. That is a common mistake. When we draw from memory and we don't have a picture in front of us, we have a tendency to draw those eyes too big. So we need to be mindful of that as well. I will do a tutorial with you and show you exactly how to draw eyes and noses and mouths. But for now we're just working on the proportions of the face and getting the shape of that face right and making sure that we've got things in the right place. The next thing is noses. Noses can be quite tricky, but getting the position of that is really important. The lines are going to run either side down that middle line like that, and the edge of the nose is actually in line with that tear duct there. Okay, so you can mark that in as the width. Generally speaking, I mean, everybody's got different shaped noses and mouths, and again I'll give you a tutorial on those facial features shortly. It's really important to remember your eyebrows, pop those in, and the mouth. We have a tendency from memory to draw that mouth really far away from the nose, and when you actually get a mirror or work from a sheet, you will see that the mouth is actually quite close to that nose. There's only a little gap. Your mouth is tucked under the nose, quite close to the nose. The next thing is to remember the middle line of the mouth, which mimics the top line of the mouth, and then that smooth shape for the underneath of the mouth, and not forgetting your chin as well. The sides of the mouth should line up with the pupils, so the edge of that would line up with that, so I can bring that out a little bit. Again, depending on your own personal face shape, you might have quite a small mouth or a wide mouth. The sides of the face now, we can actually manoeuvre those if we want to, if we realise we've come out too much, or we need to make the chin slightly longer, and we want to change the positions of things depending on the person who we're drawing. Other things to say are your ears. So your ears, the top of your ears should line up with your pupil, and the bottom of your ears should line up with the bottom of your nose. So these little ones here are way too small and a bit cartoony as well. So we'll get the shape of those in as well, all the while pressing quite lightly. The final thing, which isn't on your sheet, is hair. So again, depending on what hair you've got, you can give yourself whatever hairstyle you want. This doesn't have to be you. It could be anybody you like, really. We could just make somebody up. Okay, your school shirt, you might want to put that in as well. And there we go. There we've got our second portrait there.